Hello, good evening. This is Mark Petzold, Freedom Fire USA. Thanks for watching the show. Today's topic is primary legislators, in particular Justin Amash, and my thoughts about that. Um, Freedom Fire USA is a platform that I'm using to express my views on current events from my perspective, which is one of a Tea Party leader for 10 years. And so I have kind of a unusual set of experiences that I hope creates a view that you'll find compelling. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm just asking you to try to understand what I'm saying and go from there. So that's Freedom Fire USA. So regarding primaries, first, I believe competition is a good thing. I think that it has a purifying effect, um, and so I support the notion of the threat of someone outperforming you. It's not a bad thing, right? Um, regarding how we act regarding primaries, that's a different subject because a lot of people think they won't admit to it, but they'll believe that the government actually leads when government actually follows. Government is a reflection of us, and so if our heart isn't very good and we're struggling with our principles and our behavior, government will follow. And this is a great example for that. Um, Justin is not perfect. He's one of the best congressmen in America. I don't say that as somebody that supports him so much as looking at the data, at the scorecards, 100%, 90%, the rest. The data is the data, right? The scorecard. Granted, there's other elements that you might like or dislike, but that's what I'm talking about as far as a primary. Um, so that just it's important to look at the big picture. Now, regarding the one comment that I hear quite a bit, that boy, what happened to Justin? What happened to him? Well, you know, I find it interesting that in my view, he's held pretty steady, and I say that again based on data. And I think it's our view that's changed, and it changed about 2 years ago when President Trump came into office. Justin went from being a conservative rock star to a pariah because he's for upholding the rule of law and the Constitution. So it just really grinds people when Justin can't get on board with the group think and abandon his principles. So I maintain actually Justin's held pretty steady. It's us that's actually changed. That's a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow. I hope you're still watching. Um, Now, regarding who's going to primary Justin, again, it's not just Justin that's accused of changing when they go to office. I hear that all the time, that people change when they go to office. And actually, I maintain that people really don't change when they go to office. I maintain that they really weren't a strong person before they went to office, and it just reveals who they are. So basically, we didn't do our job picking a good person to go to office. Now, what is a good person? Exodus 18:21 gives the criteria for the type of person we're supposed to represent us in government. That person is supposed to be able-bodied. In other words, they're able to perform. They have the cognitive abilities. They have the financial wherewithal. They can do what they need to do. Number two is that they fear God. I think that is probably the most important one because uh, they need to feel accountability now. They feel accountability to us, but I think eternity holds a little bit bigger sway than even we do. Um, the third criteria is that the person is truth seeking. In other words, they do their diligence, like reading the Mueller report, like reading Obamacare, like doing these different things that most of them don't do. And it usually, when people don't read the bill, that usually irritates us. But in this particular case, with Justin, people don't really care that others really haven't read the Mueller report. And the last thing is that that person hates a moral gain, and that means that the things like what the lobbyists do and whatnot, and crony capitalism, abuse of power, that person doesn't like that. So, anyways, the kind of person we're supposed to put forward for a primary is that kind of person, and that people do have a past, and sometimes it's hard to tell. But sometimes the past does reveal itself, and I know one person that's trying to primary Justin has failed miserably on the abuse of power area and struggles. I'm not gonna. I don't. I'm gonna let people digest it on their own. But basically, there is not a strong contender to replace Justin right now. So my question is are we doing our part? I mean, in a way, we get primaried as citizens. We get primaried by natural law. What we sow, we reap. And if we sow bad governance, we reap bad governance. And so if we are driven by hatred, anger, rage, things of that nature, we reap the fruit of that. And so, there are a couple of people that I would say, would be reasonable to primary Justin. None of them are actually doing it. Um, I'll be honest for myself. If I were asked to primary him, I'm not sure I could do as good as Justin. I do know he is a Christian. There's a lot of people say he's a Muslim. I'm like, come on. Yeah, I know he's a Christian. I know from my conversations with him and so on. He, we've, I just know, okay? Um, so I'm a Christian, a person of faith. He's a Christian person of faith, and I'm going to double down on that. I'm going to say his principles, Christian principles, are strong. Why? Because he's been steady. That's fruit, an example of that second criteria of being a God-fearing person is how steady he's been. Um, so in that regard, I'm not sure I bring a whole lot more to the table. Actually, I talk about God's relation to us and government more than he does. I wouldn't mind if he did that more, but he's one of the best congressmen in America. Why would I spend time uh, trying to primary him? It doesn't make sense, and I'm going to double down on that. Why are we spending time talking about primarying him? The Republicans in America suck. America, well, they do, but in Michigan, they suck. They're horrible. What are we doing? We're wasting time, money, and effort because he doesn't get along with the groupthink. Just shut up about it and take care of your own backyard. You know, I do. There's a degree of accountability that needs to happen with when if Justin is not bringing more data forward, that's not good. It does weaken his position. I mean, it does. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but my gosh, have some composure. Can we respect the fact that he's been one of the ones that really hasn't changed over the years enough to shut up for a second and presume more that he actually sees something there than he doesn't? I'm not saying to ignore it, but calm down. But again, the next question is if you're going to primary him, are you going to primary him with somebody that's going to perform better than what he performs, in spite of the fact that he might be irritating the heck out of you? Because again, I'm going to tell you the short answer is no, and I say that based on our experience as a Tea Party leader, seeing person after person go to office that we worked to get into office blow up in spectacular colors. Justin is one of the few that really hasn't to date. So stay tuned and we'll see. But again, I hope you found this video compelling, interesting perspective. And again, I don't expect you to agree with everything I'm saying. I'm asking that you just try to understand my view as I try to understand your view. God bless you and God help us restore America. Have a good day. Bye. Evening.